Welcome back. It's another Tuesday morning, and hey, tell me something good.
Yeah. Woo.
He's wearing the shirt. Big shout out to Travis Patton Sr., the moderator, host, founder, CEO, everything with tell me something good.
Yeah.
I know we just got our shirts from him. I didn't wear mine, but I'm wearing my happy dad seltzer, uh,
Heck yeah.
courtesy of Brandon and Snoop Dogg.
Yep. That's true. Take a shout out to the Happy Dad crew.
So, hey, I don't know how I got on the subject and all, but I wanted to share some stuff with you and get your comments on it too. We did a
Okay.
show way back about bizarre laws that are still on the books in the United States
Yes, yes,
and all,
yes.
and I don't know why I was thinking about it, and I started playing around on Google, and I found that in this absolutely phenomenally great state of Texas where we live, our lawmakers are spending an incredible amount, or I should say, wasting an incredible amount of time, either passing new bizarre laws or preserving old bizarre laws.
Okay.
And some of them are, you ain't going to believe this. In in Austin, our capital, it is illegal to carry wire cutters in your pocket or in your purse.
Like to this day,
Yeah, you can open carry a gun,
that makes sense.
cannot open carry a wire cutter.
What about what about people that are working? I mean, I gotta get a permit for that.
I guess if a guy's got an ID around his, but chances are he's going to have his wire cutters in his tool belt.
So I
But
can't carry it in my pocket.
you can't conceal it. You cannot
But I
have a concealed.
around with it.
Well, you can't have a concealed wire cutter. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, where in the Capitol? What is going on in the Capitol that it is such a terrible offense to be carrying wire cutters?
In Austin is kind of a dump. Sorry to my Austin people, but I don't. I just,
I mean, the only thing I can think of is that maybe if you're out and maybe getting a little inebriated on the street and they throw you into a holding tank, you might want to have those wire cutters to cut your way out.
yeah, don't worry about everything else that's going on in Austin. Just don't get a wild card.
That one, this one I think I may have mentioned before, but I think it's really ridiculous that it's against the law to eat your neighbor's garbage.
Well, that's a bummer, man, because I was really looking at it the other day and can I eat my own garbage?
I think you can go back and you can rifle through your own garbage, but if you've got a neighbor that's rifling through your garbage and all, he can be arrested. And
Well,
and
he can rifle through it. He just can't eat it.
yeah, and so what does that mean? So we can have homeless people on the streets, but if those homeless people want to go by the back of a restaurant and
Can't
get
eat it.
get a half-eaten pizza,
Can't do it.
they could end up in the can, not for sleeping on the streets or underneath the bridges, but for eating anybody's garbage.
Well, that's only if that pizza place is their neighbor.
That's true. And I've always wondered, are homeless people picky about the dumpsters that they dive?
I mean, I would be. I mean, like, are you going to dive at McDonald's or are you going to dive at the Brazilian steakhouse?
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And are you going to go for that top-notch Italian restaurant, or are you going to go over to Little Caesars?
Right. It's just a good idea. It's not a good idea to go to Little Caesars to pay
Yeah.
for it.
All right, here's one that might be right up your alley, Brandon. That there is a law in Texas of marriage via proclamation.
All right, talk to me about that. I don't like anything about this so far.
Okay, what it says is Texas is a common law marriage state,
Yeah, I
which
knew that.
means you are considered legally married if the couple makes three public announcements that they're married.
Like in the street, like with a megaphone.
I guess you could just walk up to a stranger on the street, just say, hey, we're married,
Or just put it on social media 3 times.
or put it on a t-shirt, you know,
Gross.
and then you're married. And moreover, a couple can be considered legally married, even if the other spouse isn't present for the
Oh,
ceremony.
nice. So the guy doesn't even have to be there. He might not even know he's married.
That's right. And what does that say about polygamy? You know, you can be married to more than one person just by common law marriage.
I don't understand Texas. And I know it's every state that weird, antiquated, stupid laws, but I don't get it, man. Like I guess because nobody raises a stink about it, they just let it go.
Yeah. And if it's a law that's been on the books for 40 or 50 years, they
Yeah,
say, we'll just renew it. You
yeah,
know,
we're just gonna, yeah, we'll just, yeah,
even
ignore it.
though even though maybe they recognize it as being something that's kind of dumb and stupid. And I also would raise the question, what happens if after a year or so you decide you want to get a divorce? Do you go out and in public, go
You
back to
have
the same
to,
three people and say, oh, by the way, you remember us?
you have to put it on.
We made a mistake.
You got to put it on Twitter, man.
Yeah. 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 Just go on to social media and reach more
Cruel.
than three people.
Yeah.
It's amazing. All right. Now in some cities, you have to pay, if it's only $5, but get a permit to walk barefoot.
That's gross. I don't want to walk barefoot in a city. I
No,
contemplated walking barefoot to the hotel lobby the other night, but I was also like a bottle of wine in. So I didn't do it, but I contemplated it. But in a city,
the first thing I thought of was that
I,
I thought Key West, Florida would be the richest city in the entire country if they charged everybody $5 to walk barefoot.
and then you just walk around. You just have your permit laminated.
Yeah.
Fair. Okay.
And now here in El Paso, Texas, and I'm sure that there's other cities too, a spittoon. You know what a spittoon is?
Do you just spit in a bucket?
Exactly. It
Okay.
is it is required to have a spittoon in churches, assembly halls,
San Antonio,
hotels, banks,
El Paso.
stores, train
What
depots, and saloons in
is
El
that
Paso.
because all the tobacco?
Got to have some place to spit it. I have been in places where you'll see somebody, they'll drink their beer and then they use their empty beer can
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to spit into. But you have to have and this has got to be something that the spittoon lobby of America probably went for. And El Paso, Texas was the only city.
Apparently, El Paso has a lot of tobacco chewing going on.
Yeah, yeah. And also in Texas, you cannot shoot a buffalo from the balcony of a hotel.
Are there buffaloes in Texas still?
Apparently, somebody saw one.
Besides the ones that are like in ranches and like protective, because I've seen them down in like near Fredericksburg, and
Yeah,
I've seen that's a whole protected thing. But like, there's no hotels by them, and
but
there's
I mean, I guess if you're going to do it, you got to do it on the ground. You can't
great.
do it from a balcony.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, you got to be a pretty damn good sharpshooter to kill a buffalo from the balcony of a hotel anyway.
Not
Or,
really. They're pretty freaking big, dude.
well, yeah, but or does it mean that you can go ahead and shoot the one that's hanging above the bar?
You can shoot that one.
Because that one's going to probably be a pretty good shot.
I mean, I know at some point buffalo, but like, I don't know.
You know, and why just buffalo? Or they always got to do buffalo. That's because
So it's
that's
always
because
buffalo.
Texas Longhorns are an endangered species or whatever. And
Yeah, they're not everywhere. I
yeah,
don't see them in
yeah,
Frisco, which on the side of the road, which we do, although
yeah.
not for probably. And then we see them, in Plano. I mean, come on.
They're like Brahma bulls to Texas. You don't mess with a Longhorn.
No, you don't.
Now, here is one that actually does make a little bit of sense. And that there are towns in rural Texas, especially, that have laws that your horse has to have tail lights.
Your horse or the horse, like you put him on the horse's butt?
Yeah, yeah. Now, if you stop and think about it, it's because these are rural areas and a lot of people travel by horse at night. And so what they did was they passed a law that if you're going to ride your horse at night, you need to have blinkers or something on the back of your saddle or something, which does make some sense because if there's a car coming down the road and you're riding on the shoulder on your horse, it's
Yeah.
probably a good idea to have make notice of it. But there are communities that have passed laws saying that if you're going to ride your horse at night, you have to have tail lights.
Got to put a little blinker on it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you almost could accomplish the same thing by just wearing reflective clothing while you're sitting on your horse.
Runners do at night and all that crap. So
yeah. Now, did you you know, Jeep Wagoneers and Jeep Gladiators and all, it's okay to drive them with the windshield down. You don't have to have the windshield up on some Jeeps and you know, in all-terrain vehicles, but there is a law, you must have windshield wipers. Even if you don't have a windshield.
They're just going to go in the air.
Yeah.
It's bugs like a horse's tail just flapping around.
Right. Yeah. So you're driving down the street and you got bugs that are coming in at your face, but
you got to get the wipers on.
Yeah, you're hoping that the wipers will get to the bugs before the bugs get to your face.
I don't even know what to say about that. I got nothing. I'm out. Nothing.
I mean, I love some of this stuff because, folks, this is what Texas is all about. It's let me see. Oh, where was there is a law in Port Arthur, Texas, a no odor emissions law in elevators. Now, you want to guess what kind of odor emissions there?
Well, there's a lot in elevators, in all fairness, from human beings to food to rats to cows. In an elevator this past weekend, I was questioning if it was even moving or not. And I was like, so I'm like, not only did it stink, but I sat there for a minute like, are we moving? I thought it was a joke.
I mean, I can understand, but must be something about Port Arthur that they got some very, very small elevators.
Man, it's a pretty rough place. I've never been there and probably never will. So.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I know where it is. So.
Especially as the doors are closing and all of a sudden there's like 3 or 4 people that stick their arm in there, open up and get in.
And maybe the horses go in there too.
Yeah, with the backup lights.
It can happen.
All right, now there is a law in some Texas towns that you have to have a permit to get drunk.
I would just, you know what, every year up for renewal, I would just renew that permit. It would just be an automatic withdrawal from my bank account because you know what? I don't want to be sitting here drinking. And then what defines drunk? Over the legal limit? Like you can drink, but you can't get drunk. But if I got a permit, I can get wasted, no problem.
Yeah, but usually getting drunk is against the law. But these towns have passed this law so that you can allegedly get a permit from the director of Parks and Recreation to get drunk in a city park.
Well, that's
primarily why they wrote it. So,
you know what?
I mean, doesn't
we all do it anyway, so we might as well have it.
Especially if you got a city park that's got a band shell in it and you got entertainment out there.
Yeah, the 4th of July fireworks or festivals. Yeah, you got to get it. Yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah, you kind of figure somebody was smart about saying, hey, listen, if they're going to get drunk, we might as well make a few bucks off of them.
Hey, we can't stop it, so let's make some money off it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'm not mad at that.
Now, in this is near us in Mesquite, Texas.
That's near. Where's Mesquite?
Mesquite is just south of Dallas.
I ain't that close, guy.
it is against the law for kids to have unusual haircuts.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, I want to know what agency of the law enforcement is going to police
I'm
that
gonna,
one.
I got two things to say here, and they're gonna guys. One of them, probably the same town that banned dancing in Footloose. Number one. Number two, this is probably a pretty racist town. Look, they don't want to say it. They don't want to say it, but they're like, we need an opportunity to be racist here.
Yes. And
And if we can say unusual, there's no description. We can
right.
specifically look at fades and we can look at that. Nah, come on, Mesquite, do better.
Yeah, yeah. And who I'd like to know what agency is out there. Maybe it would be a good job for somebody to have to go out and try to determine if that person's got the purple and pink hair and and the head shaved on one side, if that
They
is
have an agency for that. They do. Yeah, it's 3 letters. Bet you can figure out what 3 letters they are.
and what I want to know is what if you walk into Mesquite, Texas?
Okay, because they probably think I'm one of them. They're like, oh, that's a
Yeah,
modern letter word.
they say, wait a minute, we're going to give you a ticket, dude, because you don't have any hair. So, that's against the law. That's an unusual haircut you have.
No, not with this nation that they're promoting.
That's true. But it just amazing. A lot of these. It just doesn't make an awful lot of sense to me. What was this? There was one that says in Borger, Texas, which I have no clue where that is.
Nobody
We
does.
don't know what have necessitated this, but the town of Borger, Texas, forbids the throwing of confetti, rubber balls, and fireworks within the city limits.
Somebody got hurt. Confetti
Yeah,
doesn't make sense because confetti is just
yeah,
messy.
and also whips are also outlawed in that town.
You can't whip
Whips.
it. Oh, so they had a problem. Like this is a real fun town. Let me tell you. Borger. I wonder where
Yeah,
that is. Got to be out in West Texas somewhere, man.
yeah, in the middle of no place. Where the city council had nothing to do but said, "Yeah, let's pass a law against confetti and rubber balls." And
Yeah, somebody tripped fell 37 years ago, and the one party they had in Borger because they got a Walmart, it just was a
yeah,
disaster.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think some of these are really bizarre, and I think if you Google around the country, you'll find that
Oh,
almost every state has some kind of really strange laws
oh,
that are
yeah,
still on the books.
yeah, they do. They really do.
But well, I'm going to get out of here because I'm going to go check and see if the windshield wipers are working on my car before I take the windshield off.
Yeah, you got to do that. It's a necessity.
Yeah, I don't want to get caught. I don't
I'm
want
gonna
to
go down to Austin with my wire cutters and see what happens.
get right and keep them concealed in your pocket.
Yeah, just
When the
really.
policeman asks you to step out of the car, and all of a sudden he checks your pockets, and he says, well, I see you got this little bag of white stuff over here, but those wire cutters, man,
Yeah,
hands behind the back."
yeah. My 4 kilos of coke are no problem, but those wires could be an issue.
Yeah, that's because he can share your
Yeah,
Coke, but he can't share your wire cutters.
that's true. True.
All right, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. Go out and make it a good day. Have no clue what we're going to talk about next week, but it'll probably be something bizarre.
I don't even know why I showed up today. So
Go back to bed. Bye.